Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of The Men of Yoshiwara, Kikuya. We are doing Hayato slash Hayabusa's route, and we are on chapter 9, You're Special to Me. So, let's get started. It was my fault that Hayato had become Kagura's assistant. Iroha had suggested that Kikuya should hold on to the valuables that I'd obtained. I couldn't collect my thoughts, and a few days had passed by. On my way back from doing an errand in Yoshiwara, I stopped by the Inari shrine. And then... Misao? I suddenly heard my name, and quickly turned around to see who it was. Hayato! Why are you here?
Kikuya isn't open yet, so I came by to pray. Well, I don't have much freedom now that I work under Kagura.
Oh, I see. Our unexpected meeting reminded me of what had happened the other day, and my chest hurt.
Don't make that face. How many times have I told you it's not your fault? Iroha said that too, didn't he?
Yeah. But isn't your training hard?
I wouldn't say that. Don't worry about it. Kagura is stubborn and strict, but deep down he's a good person. He's very thoughtful of me, so you really don't need to worry. My daily life is just a bit more cramped, but I feel bad for making Kagura look after me. I see. He anxiously reached out to me and gently petted my head. More importantly, what did Iroha say to you? After I left, Misao. Huh? He won't tell me no matter how many times I ask him. His mouth is clamped shut tighter than an oyster. I wanted to ask you the next time we met.
I didn't know what to tell him. There was no way. I could tell Hayato that Iroha wanted me to have him hold on to the valuables. He told me about the time that you'd started working at Kikuya.
He told you about that stuff?
Hayato looked at me suspiciously. Yes, he did. Anyway, you're doing better than I thought. That makes me happy.
Oh yeah, there's no point in being sad. I'm more suspicious that you're hiding something.
I'm not hiding anything.
Really?
Yes, really. He looked deep into my eyes, and my heart started to beat faster. She should just tell him what's going on, if it's safer for her to let him hold on to the jewels, then what's the big deal? I was scared that he'd figure out that I was hiding something from him. His clear eyes looked straight at me, and I couldn't calm down.
What are you hiding from me, Misao?
Huh? He sounded a little annoyed, but not angry. Hayato held me close. His kimono was slightly undone, and my face touched his bare chest directly.
You can't hide anything from me, okay?
He spoke sadly, and I couldn't separate myself from him, even if I wanted to. I decided to... hold on to his kimono. I held on to Hayato's kimono tightly. It was so painful for me.
Misao, please stop worrying all by yourself.
Okay. I gave him a one-word answer as I sighed onto Hayato's chest. I turned my face over. I'm sorry, Hayato.
Why are you apologizing?
I just want to think about it myself for a bit longer. So... Hayato then used his hands to rub my back and head. He moved his hands so gently, and it felt like they were sucking me in. My heart started to beat unnecessarily faster.
Okay. If that's what you want, I won't ask. But...
His hands suddenly stopped. He let me go, but left one hand on my waist to support it. He then moved his other hand up to my face.
I want to take all your unhappiness from you, and I'll protect you no matter what.
As he looked at me, I could see his eyes glistening with tears. For some reason, I just couldn't look away. There was a clenching pain in my chest.
Misao, you know why I'm telling you this, right?
Huh? Suddenly, there was no space left between us, and we kissed. I didn't even have time to blink. Not a single thought ran through my head. His soft lips were a little cold as he pressed them up against mine. I opened my eyelids, and we were so close that our eyelashes were almost touching. And in the next moment, he slowly took his lips away.
You're so special to me. No one can replace you. You're so important to me.
He hugged me one more time. This time, his grip was tighter. It was so strong and intense, it felt like he was smothering me. Hayato. My heart filled with emotion, and they overflowed in the form of my tears. Thinking back, I remembered that Hayato was tearing up just a second ago. What happened to his tears? Occupied with my thoughts, I clung to Hayato. I feel the same.
If we don't meet again for a few more years, I'll see you when my contract is up, and I won't be a courtesan any longer. But I might be too late by then. If I wait until then, some other courtesan might steal you from me.
That's not true.
It's rare for people not to follow this island's customs. I'm sure you'll start visiting the pleasure district regularly, just like the others.
But I just couldn't imagine myself doing that. I couldn't hug, kiss, or even sleep next to another man. Hayato was the only person I could do those things with. He was irreplaceable to me.
I'm so thankful that we were able to meet here. I'm so glad that we've been reunited here on that night. I love you, Misao.
Oh. It was so hard to breathe, and it felt like my bones were creaking. He hugged me so tightly. I'd been waiting for him to do all of this. His touch, his words, they were exactly what I wanted. And now, I was in deep bliss. In these past few minutes, my wavering heart had become resolute. We continued to hug each other, for a little while longer.
I have to go back soon, but let's stay like this for a little longer.
After holding me so tightly, it felt like Hayato was holding back now. He held my hand gently, and the two of us sat side by side on the shrine grounds. We were both silent. It was a bit awkward and frustrating. It was a strange silence. I decided to say, oh, the other two sound like cop-outs. I'm just gonna say ... I looked at the ground, not knowing what to say.
You were in the middle of an errand, right? You can go back if you want, but...
It's okay. I want to be with you just a little longer.
Okay.
Next to me, Hayato looked up at the sky and let out a deep breath.
It's almost sunset.
Those words stung my chest. Yes, he was a courtesan. Hayato would disappear, and he would have become Hayabusa in a little bit.
Oh yeah, today Takeo is going to be walking around Yoshiwara.
Hayato's expression slowly became brighter. That reminded me about whether Takeo had ratted us out or not. We never figured it out. That thought popped into my mind, but looking at Hayato's smile made me realize how tasteless it would be to bring it up.
Misao, have you seen the courtesans as they walk in a line around the pleasure district?
Yeah, the first time I'd come to Yoshiwara, Takeo had been walking around.
I see, you're pretty lucky. Takeo is beautiful and said to be Yoshiwara's best courtesan.
Really?
Are you really asking that? You didn't understand how alluring his charm was?
No, but I did think he was extremely pretty. I was fascinated by him, but...
But
I'm sure you'd be just as pretty if they dressed you up, too. Hayato's eyes popped open wide. Did I say something strange? I started to pout.
You say the craziest things.
Why?
Compete with Takeo? I wouldn't have a chance.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I look up to him.
You do?
Yeah, he's an outstanding courtesan. At Kikuya, Takeo and Kagura are always fighting for first place. I'm appealing in a different way than those two, so I can't compare. But I think Takeo was born to be a courtesan. Kagura, on the other hand, raises the standards for what an outstanding courtesan should be.
As Hayato talked about Takeo and Kagura, he looked like a little boy as his eyes twinkled brightly. That's wonderful. Courtesans are so mysterious.
Yeah, I want to become a magnificent courtesan as well someday.
It was like Hayato was painting a picture inside his heart. I inhaled all of my excitement, let out a deep breath, and smiled. I thought he wanted to stop being a courtesan one day, not be the best courtesan. There was no time to be sad. There was no way I could frown. When the person in front of me looked so cheerful despite him being a courtesan, I needed to support him. I'd love to help you get there someday.
Oh, what are you saying? The amount of money that would take is...
Hayato stopped mid-sentence. It seemed like he'd realized something. Yes. If I used the valuables in my possession, I was sure he could walk around Yoshiwara. I'm sure you'll be pretty when you parade around with the other courtesans. I spoke and smiled before he could say anything. Hayato would have to smile back at me in return, I was sure of it. We spent our time there together casually. Then, when the evening approached, we both left the Inari shrine. And that night, I wrapped the valuable items in a big cloth and hurried to Yoshiwara. I'd packed everything nice and tightly and finally arrived at Kikuya.
Well, if it isn't Miss Misao, welcome.
Iroha greeted me in the same manner as always. I'd made up my mind and took in a deep breath. Iroha, about what we discussed the other day.
Have you made a decision?
Yes.
My. I'm sure Hayabusa will be pleased.
I brought everything with me, but...
What is it?
Could you please keep this a secret from Hayato?
Oh, but why?
I want to talk to him about it properly. I'll tell him why I gave these items to you, and what I want to do from here on out. He won't be convinced unless I talk to him directly about it. I know this is out of the ordinary, but...
A stubborn man is so troublesome. But if you fall for one, there's no going back.
I hope that's true.
You really are a cute young lady.
Please don't tease me.
I'm not.
Despite his words, Iroha started to loosen up his lips. I couldn't control my cheeks from becoming bright red.
Worry not. I won't tell him about this.
Thank you so much.
Think nothing of it. Well then, will you let me see the items? Let's go to my room in the back.
Okay. The second I passed the valuables on to Iroha,
I'll be looking through those belongings.
Along with the startling shout, I could hear numerous footsteps trotting into Kikuya. Huh? It was the patrol squad supervisor. Had they been standing guard the whole time? Or had they been following me?
Iroha, hand that sack over. I can't let you examine our guest's personal belongings. So, you won't listen to my request? I'm not convinced.
In that case, we'll arrest you too.
Oh, under what charges?
Interfering with an investigation is a punishable crime.
But these are just her belongings.
Enough, hand them over. Investigate that parcel. Yes, ma'am.
Stop.
The patrol squadron struggled with Iroha. The valuable treasures scattered around our feet. Everyone in the room stopped. We were all frozen. My entire body was going pale. This might be the end of me. Chapter 10. Arrest me. No, don't arrest me. I don't want to be arrested. When I'd brought my valuables to Kikuya, Yoshiwara's patrol squadron had restrained me. In the end, the precious treasures had scattered across the floor. I was full of despair. This was an end for me.
I knew it.
You're a criminal after all. The patrol supervisor shouted as she pointed at me.
We have proof now. Arrest her.
Members of the patrol squadron seized my arms and held me down.
Please, wait. It doesn't make sense to pin her as a criminal just because she's carrying valuable items. She hasn't confessed to doing anything either. Please, let go of her.
We've investigated her. She's the daughter of a boat seller. She could never afford anything this valuable.
No, this young lady is the daughter of a merchant. Haven't you mistaken her for someone else?
That isn't possible. Are you sure you're not the one who's mistaken? I was done for. This was really the end for me. When I hung my head low with my arms behind my back. Would you shut up already? You're interfering with our business. Could you just leave? Takayo came down from the second floor and shouted. The noisy room suddenly fell into silence. I don't know what this is about, but you're scaring our honored customer. You're supposed to be protecting the peace. So, could you stop disturbing us? This woman is the one disturbing the peace. I'll do as you wish. We'll arrest this girl. And give you back your peace and quiet. Let's get out of here. Ow! They handled me roughly and I spoke up in pain. Wait a second. What is it? Is she some sort of criminal? Yes. Isn't she a little too cute and innocent to do any harm? It's pointless to try and persuade us now. I'm not trying to persuade you. She wouldn't even hurt a fly, so how could she commit a crime? You're disgracing Takayo's name by falling for this girl. I'm Takayo, and I'm telling you that she couldn't have done it. Takayo. Why? He knew what I'd done, but why was he defending me so much? Someone like Takayo couldn't have snitched on us after all. It felt like he was throwing me a lifesaver. As I drifted aimlessly across the sea, his kindness started to make me cry. Right at that moment, I heard flustered footsteps coming down the stairs. Misao. Hayato! Hayato rushed over to my side. I couldn't hold in my tears any longer after seeing him. Please don't take her away yet. Hayato looked stern as he declared his request. Here they come, one after another. This is such a bustling business. She's not the one you're looking for. I'm the one who helped those elopers escape. What are you? The air became tense. I'm sorry. It's my fault she's under suspicion. I'm causing all this trouble for Kikuya. Hayato faced Iroha and bowed deeply to him. No. No, this couldn't be happening. Oh. I'm the criminal. I'm the criminal, I shouted on the spur of the moment. Nevertheless, Hayato slowly shook his head. I'm the one who did it. Right, Misao? Everything was becoming chaotic. Why would Hayato lie like this? Oh, it's obvious. Ugh, enough. Which one of you did it? Like I said, it was me. No! I was touched at how much those two loved each other and had ready to vote for them. So, if you're going to arrest someone, it should be me. Why are you doing this, Hayato? Iroha, Takayo, why won't you say anything? I shouted desperately, but no one said a word. Why? Takayo and Iroha knew the truth, yet the two of them were keeping quiet. Causing any more of a scene would cause Kikuya trouble. Take me away. Hayato walked towards us. He loosened the patrol member's grip on me. Then, we'll have to take Hayabusa and this girl with us. At this rate, I can't tell who's defending who. She isn't involved in this. Please, don't let her get involved. It isn't right. Fine, arrest Hayabusa. Oh, no! Hayato! I was set free, but Hayato was taken into custody instead. It was unbelievable. All I could do was watch, blankly. As Hayato passed me, he said, "Didn't I tell you I'd protect you?" He whispered those words right into my ear. He and the patrol squadron left Kikuya. Miss Misao. I let the strength out of my body and fell to my knees. Iroha rushed over and tried to lift me up. Hayato! Hayato! My tears fell from my eyes drop by drop as I clung onto Iroha's kimono for support. Let's calm down for now and go into the back room. But Hayato's... Miss Misao, please try to calm down. Suddenly my body was floating. I realized Iroha's face was right next to mine, and he had lifted me up. I can walk by myself. I'm sure you can, but you won't do it yourself. I felt guilty and hung my head low, unable to say anything. I made a huge ruckus. I caused everyone trouble. If it were possible, I want to turn back time. Iroha brought me into his room and served some hot tea to help calm me down. I didn't deserve his kindness, because I caused trouble for everyone here at Kikuya. Iroha. As I took a deep breath, I could hear Kagura on the other side of the door. Is that you, Kagura?
Yes, excuse my intrusion. Is it true that Hayabusa has been arrested?
Kagura was always calm and composed, but right now his voice was filled with panic. My guilt tormented me and squeezed my chest. I looked closer and noticed that Kagura was looking worried from behind Kagura.
Word travels fast around here.
Yes, but why? I want to know as well. I can't imagine someone diligent as him committing a crime. I knew what I had to say, but I couldn't get the words out very well, so I stayed silent.
It's nothing to worry about. Can you take care of the store and our customers to prevent an uproar?
Yes. But...
Kagura, we must do what we can now.
Yes, Kagura. Excuse us.
If something comes up, tell me.
They left and slowly closed the door. Iroha let out a small sigh. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault.
Now, how shall we deal with this?
If there's an uproar in Kikuya, please attend to it as well, Iroha.
I'm sure Kagura can take care of it. You don't need to worry about our business. More importantly, why don't you worry about Hayabusa and yourself instead?
I should, but I'm so sorry. I bowed my head to the floor.
You don't need to do that. Please lift your head up.
I didn't know how to take responsibility for all the things I'd done. I'm so sorry. All I could do was apologize, so I continued to bow my head.
Please, lift your head up already. Please stop bowing your head so we can talk. Worrying about these things won't get you anywhere.
Thanks.
It didn't matter what the truth is. I'm sure everyone here will agree to help Hayabusa.
Huh?
Hayabusa is a serious, uninteresting man, but everyone here at Kikuya is fond of him and knows how trustworthy he is. Uninteresting? Ah. If Hayabusa says he'd help that couple escape, everyone will believe him. Or they would infer that he said those things for a reason. God is always watching and never abandons those who do good deeds. I'm sure things will work out, so stop sulking.
The more I heard Iroha talk, the more my chest hurt. It was my fault. I allowed this to happen to such an outstanding person. Iroha, what's going to happen to Hayato?
I'm sure they'll torture him tonight.
Torture? My face went pale.
Then, if they find him guilty, they'll execute him. But I'm sure they won't do that to Hayabusa. I'm sure he'll have to endure a painful punishment for a few months.
That can't be.
He won't be able to sleep very long and won't be given food or water. They'll peel his skin, bind him with ropes.
Peel his skin? What the heck? He won't be able to work after that.
And dunk him in water.
Oh my... It was horrific just hearing it. They were going to do those brutal things to him.
Are you all right?
Yes. The things Ira had told me were astonishing. It was making my head spin. Thinking about Hayato enduring all those things pained me. No! I won't allow that to happen. I'm going to meet with them and tell them that I'd help the couple escape.
Stop that.
But at this rate, Hayato will be...
Stop.
His tone wasn't forceful at all, but I knew I had to listen to him, so I sat up straight.
Do you understand what Hayabusa's trying to do, deep down?
Huh?
He wants to protect his beloved at all costs. That's why he volunteered to sacrifice himself for you.
I hung my head low and bit my lip. Even if that was true, it was my fault that this happened to him. Right at that moment.
Tokiwa, how nice of you to eavesdrop.
Whoa, ouch. Stop being rough with me. You know I'm doing this because of your bad manners.
Still, that doesn't give you the right to pull my ear like this.
I could hear people starting to make a ruckus from behind the door. Iroha looked irritated and let out a deep breath.
Enough, Takeo, Tokiwa.
Iroha shouted, and Takeo and Tokiwa became silent. A few seconds later... Great, it's your fault they found us.
It's because of your bad manners. As they quarreled amongst themselves, the two of them opened the door. I can't believe you were eavesdropping in front of my room. Tokiwa, I can see your true colors now. You're scaring me, Iroha. Tokiwa's shoulders were shaking immensely. He was right. Iroha's voice was scarier when he used a deeper tone. I'm enraged, so it's only natural that you're scared. What happened to your work? My customer for the night has already left. Oh. It's not your fault, so don't worry. All right. I was a little surprised because it felt like he read my mind. Takeyo really did have strong senses. And what about you, Tokiwa? Yeah, I couldn't get any customers tonight. Are you sure you weren't just being lazy about advertising yourself? Of course not. It looks like I've hit the bullseye. Were you worried about the ruckus? Well, something like that. If anyone will be curious about it. I mean, Hayabusa's the one who caused it. You always create a ruckus, don't you? Oh. That's not a sufficient reason to skip out on work. Return to your post at the window. But... Hey, Iroha, what are you going to do about her? Tokiwa's foreign-looking eyes sparkled as he asked his question. That isn't your concern. Oh, I see. How boring. But you seem a lot calmer now. It's not good for a beautiful woman like you to cry your eyes out. Takeyo looked into my eyes and smirked. I panicked and looked away. Takeyo, don't tease her. Why? I'm just having fun. It's better than letting her stay depressed. That's true. Tokiwa. Yeah, I'll shut up. I'll shut my mouth and go back to work. Yes, I want you to escort this young lady to the front gate tonight. Huh? Tokiwa was surprised by Iroha's order. We both looked at each other. Alright, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow, please, for another episode. Or, if this is later, you can watch it right now. I hope to see you in some future videos, though, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show your support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.